So Mandibuzz is a really bulky Pokemon. It has 65 attack and 55 special attack, which is terrible, pretty much. But because it's bulky, it doesn't really matter as much with 110 attack, 110 health, 105 defense, and 95 special defense. And for being so bulky, it actually has pretty good speed at 80. But it's also female only is the thing about Mandibuzz. You can only get them in female. But its abilities are Big Pecs, Overcoat, and Weak Armor. 90% of the time you're going to run Overcoat though. Honestly, it's its best ability. Weak Armor has its uses. Big Pecs is pretty much useless, because there's not many times to where you'll have your defense lowered. Like, there's not many times your opponent will be like, oh, I'm going to lower their defense. Unless it's not really that useful, to be honest with you. But Dark Flying's a really good typing. You're weak to Rock, Electric, Ice, and Fairy, which are not bad. Rock and Fairy are the most common ones probably out of those two. With like Play Rough, especially Play Rough and Dazzling Gleam for Fairy, and then like Rock Slide, Stone Edge for Rock. Electric, you'll see a Thunderbolt every so often. You'll see more Ice, I think, when the next day when the Crown Tundra comes out and like Garchomp gets introduced, especially if they had like Dragonite too for the for the Dragon types that have the dual weakness. You're immune to Ground and Psychic though, which is really good, which means you can switch in. Like if you know something Specs or something, you can switch in on it, or if you just know it's like a Hippowdon or something that's pure ground, especially a Hippowdon because of Overcoat, so you're immune to Sandstorm. You switch into a Hippowdon, he can hit you with Rock, so I'd be careful of that, but like something like that you can kind of force a switch out if he's like a bulky and he doesn't have Rock. But you're also resistant to Ghost Grass and Dark, which is pretty good. They're not like the best, but it's not bad. But one way to run Mandibuzz is just a tanky support in doubles with Snarl, Tailwind, Heat Wave, and Air Slash. Snarl lowers their special attack. Tailwind doubles you and your allies' speed. Heat Wave just double damage, so like if you need something to get KO'd or something like a Sizzle or a Ferrothorn have a dual weakness, you can just Heat Wave. Your your ally can do an attack like Earthquake or something, and you can Heat Wave to take them out. Air Slash is just stab move. Mandibuzz isn't going to do the most damage, but a 30% chance to flinch is pretty good. And I would run Citrus Berry as an item, just so you can get that burst healing, so you can survive an extra attack. But Overcoat's really good. Again, Overcoat's its best ability. I Overcoat 99% of the time, honestly. And especially in doubles, you can avoid like Sleep Powder. Pretty sure Spore counts as a powder move. You can ignore Rage Powder, and you also don't take damage from Sandstorm or Hail, so you can run Mandibuzz on a Sandstorm team and be just fine. But pretty much you want to make them as bulky as possible. Max health, max special defense with a defensive nature to try to balance them out a little bit. But you can also probably take some points out of special attack. If you want it more, depending on how balanced you want, you can take some points out of special defense and put them into defense. Something like that. Or you can just go, the easiest honestly, just to go max special defense. It won't make that big of a difference, but another way to run him is Iron Defense. It's just a full physical tank. Iron Defense, Roost, Foul Play, Dual Wing Beat. You can replace Foul Play with Knockoff, but Foul Play uses their attack stat. So if you're running against a physical attacker, it'd be better to steal their attack. But you could also knock off their item and knock off like a Life Orb or something, which is really good. The only problem with Knockoff is you won't two-shot them with this, so Knockoff only has 65 power after that first hit. But for something like this, you can also take it away. Like, you can run just full defensive, just defensive wall, or you can take it out and put it in the special defense and run a special defensive nature. It's up to you, but if you want a full physical tank, Mandibuzz will get it done. I would run Rocky Helmet though, so they lose a sixth of their health if they ever hit you with a contact move. This might be one of the few cases for Big Pecs, honestly. If you're worried about like raising your defense with Iron Defense and you're worried about them like taking it back, I wonder if this. I don't know if Big Pecs ignores like Clear Smog and like if you build up your defense. I don't think it does. I don't think it immunes you from like Haze or Clear Smog or anything. I'm not sure though. But pretty much you just build up you build up your defense with Iron Defense, Foul Play, Dual Wing Beat them down pretty much. But another way, this is more of a gimmicky Mandibuzz. But max attack, adamant, max speed. This is more of a tank buster Mandibuzz. Late in the battle, just take him out. But actually, this could work later. I forgot about this. So the plan with this one is You get hit with a physical attack. I forgot this raised speed actually, so this Mana Buzz can put in a lot of work. This doesn't have to be a late game Mana Buzz, but if you know nothing is like an Excelgor level speed, Zeraora level speed, this Mana Buzz can finish stuff off. But pretty much if you're hit with a physical attack, it lowers your defense by 1 and raises your speed by 2, which means Lash Out now has 150 base power. Plus, if you get hit with like something like a Play Rough or it would have to be a contact. It would have to be like Zeraora's Wild Charge maybe. If you get hit with one of these moves that are physical, most of the time maybe a Play Rough, maybe a Volt Tackle or Plasma Fish from Zeraora. I don't know if there's any rock contact moves that are common. I don't think there is. But pretty much Lash Out. If you can get the weakness policy that first turn, if you can get weakness policy, like if you hit with a Play Rough, you get the +2, the weak armor, and then 150 base power Lash Out. If they're not fairy or they just have Play Rough or something, they're pretty much KO'd with this. Unless they're just physically unless they're super tanky, they're getting KO'd. And that turn, you're getting +2 attack, +2 special attack, and +2 speed. If you get hit with like a super effective physical attacking hit. And then Brave Bird, Bone Rush, Steel Wing. You can also replace Steel Wing with Endure if you want to try to proc the weakness policy. Like if you know they're going to switch in something that can hit you super effective and you can't one-shot them, you can just Endure. They hit you, they bring you down to 1, but this super effective hit, so a weakness policy procs, you get a +2, and then you could either just go all in or Brave Bird. If you run Endure, you can replace Brave Bird with Dual Wing Beat if you don't want the recoil, but you could always have Brave Bird as that just, I'm going to try to KO you move. I might as well go out with a bang. Bone Rush is good coverage, and it also breaks sashes, which is decent. If it hits 3 times, it does 75, which is what most times it'll hit. Lash Out still has decent base power if your stat isn't getting lowered, but pretty much if you get that +2 speed, you outspeed pretty much everything, even without a beneficial nature. But another way to run Mana Buzz is more of a mixed tank, pretty much with Roost. You switch it in. You have Roost for sustain, knock off to knock off. Pretty much is Mana Buzz disruption. Pretty much you come in, you knock off. You Roost if you need to. You have the Citrus Berry for reliability. Survive an extra hit or so. Bone Rush for some damage, and Dual Wing Beat. Pretty much, you come in, you knock off, and you go from there. Pretty much, you come in. It's really good though against things with like Life Orb or things like that rely on their item to get a big boost. So, yeah, you pretty much just come in and disrupt whatever they're doing. But some of the other moves Mana Buzz learns are Nasty Plot, but like its attack so low that its attack and speed are low, so you'd have to get a Nasty Plot and then get hit with weak armor to make Nasty Plot work. But it has decent coverage though with Air Slash, Heat Wave. It learns Dark Pulse too, Dark Pulse and Shadow Ball. That's pretty decent coverage. But again, Shadow Ball's another move. Sky Attack's and moves you can learn, like Power Herb Sky Attack's pretty good. 30% chance to flinch and high crit ratio. Payback's a really good move. It gets 100 base power if you go after the opponent, but the problem is Mana Buzz is actually kind of fast, so it's not fully reliable as a thing. It's not fully reliable for Mana Buzz, but some of the other moves, Taunt could work though because Mana Buzz is just fast enough. Mana Buzz is a really good tank buster. Taunt's good. U-turn's a move. I wouldn't really use U-turn honestly, but so, like some of the other moves it actually learns Toxic too, which is, you can actually use Toxic. It's one of the few Pokemon that learns Toxic now that they since Toxic is not a TM anymore. Throw Toxic in on a tankier set. Something like actually the Iron Defense one. Replace one of them. Well, you're on the risk of a Steel type or a Poison type really threatening you, but Toxic's a move it learns. It also learns Swagger if I'm not mistaken. It also learns Defog too. So if you want to run in and get rid of hazards, it gets rid of hazards on both sides, so you got to be careful of that. Honestly, I think it's a worse Rapid Spin at this point because Rapid Spin raises speed. But some of the other moves, Thief's a good move. If you have a barrier or something, Thief could be pretty good. Thief could be really, really good. Scary Face, whatever. Lowers their speed. Rock Tomb and doubles could be good. You hit them, you do damage, and then you lower their speed. I wouldn't really run. There's better Retaliate Pokemon, but that's pretty much. That's how you use Mandibuzz. That's how you use Mandibuzz in Pokemon Sword and Shield.